the live stream possible. People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark, where you always do better with Landmark. Mr. Matt Hart, thank you so much for taking that with you and your listeners. Always a great lineup on the WTIM morning show. Today is no different. Mr. Matt Hart, the CCEDC, we're always talking about business development district and TIF and all the incentives that businesses can have to start or to exceed and excel in Christian County. But we're going to dig down today in Christian County Economic Development Corporation. I want to learn a little bit about the history. What got all this started in Christian County?
Yeah, and it's a great story, and some people who might know the story, who've been around Christian County a long time, might know the history, but a lot of people don't. And so, yeah, we thought, let's explain kind of what Christian County Economic Development Corporation is, how it got its start, and really the start for Christian County Economic Development Corporation goes, because the story kind of goes back into the mid 1980s. Okay. Back in by the way, Christian County has had a very rich history of business and commerce, and one of our biggest employers back then was this massive coal mine that we had that was producing coal, which was our number one provider of electricity for the nation at the time. But some things were changing politically, and it was looking like there was a chance that the mine, Peabody number 9, was going to close. And a group of business leaders in Christian County got together and they said, what are we going to do if we lose this major employer? What are we going to do if they actually do close this coal mine? And so a group of leaders in Christian County got together and said, we've got to have a plan. We've got to have something, if in fact they do close this coal mine and we lose all these jobs. So the Christian County Economic Development Corporation was formed out of that to pretty much come up with what are we going to do to attract another employer or to keep our employers that are here. And so about that time, also the then governor of Illinois, Jim Thompson, had made a major announcement that they were in the process of rehabbing and reconstructing and redoing all of their correctional facilities, and that they were going to build a series of new prisons all across the state. But there was stipulations in how they were going to build these correctional facilities. Number one, they needed a large land mass area, hundreds and hundreds of acres. Number two, it needed to be near some sort of major transportation, either a state highway or interstate highway. But then, there were also, the land had to be donated. There had to be coordination with the local governments, the utilities. And so at that point, the very early Christian County Economic Development Corporation, that team got together and they formulated a plan to try to attract that Taylorville and Christian County would get one of these new correctional facilities. And of course, we're sitting here and it's been 30 years later, we have this correctional facility. But the Taylorville Correctional Facility, which by the way employs 330 people, also houses 1,200 men at this minimum security prison. All of that was due to the years of work that was going on behind the scenes to make sure that the land was available. And we lined up several landowners in place to basically all sign documents saying that if we do bring this here, we're willing to do that. And then also we had people in the community who said, we want to support economic development. We want to contribute. Who can we contribute to? How do we contribute? And there was no, we had all these business leaders, but we didn't have an organization. And so they formed a not-for-profit, and Christian County Economic Development Corporation is a 501c3 not-for-profit, relies entirely on donations to operate. But you had businesses in town who all got together and started this Economic Development Corporation. And of course, we call these projects, I call those generational projects, right? Because we're sitting here 34 years later and just imagine the number of people who have worked at that facility over the years. And those people, prison guards, support personnel, those people, they all buy homes in Christian County. They all have children in the schools in Christian County. They're here buying groceries. They're buying cars. They're eating at our restaurants. This is certainly millions, probably billions of dollars of economic impact, all because of work that was done 40 years ago by a group of business leaders in town. And so that was really the history and the start of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. Of course, once the correctional facility was built, and it opened in 1990, But once that was built, then CCEDC pivoted and they said, okay, we've done this generational project. What can we do to continue to help our existing businesses and attract new businesses? And that's what CCEDC does. It is a group of business and political leaders in the county who coordinate and work behind the scenes so that when someone is thinking about expanding their business here, bringing their business here, or an existing business that maybe needs some help. We do all of that work behind the scenes. And most people, in the public, they don't see until we do the ribbon cutting. They don't see all that work that goes on behind the scenes. But that's just a little history on how Christian County's Economic Development Corporation got started and what we do today.
What a great story. I was not aware of the timeline of it all and the exact specifics of it. And I had no idea the importance of that correctional center and what that did. But you were talking about so many people that got on the same page with landowners, these business leaders and businesses themselves. Right. And back in the 1980s, they really came together. And was it called the CCEDC back then?
It was. Wow. It was originally started as the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. And they were very specific in making sure that they had just a wide cross section of community leaders. I mean, the Christian County Economic Development Corporation today, it includes the mayor of Taylorville, the mayor of Pana, the mayor of Assumption, the county board chairman, but it also includes, we're very specific that we've got to have people from the banking community, from the medical community, from the agricultural community, from the industrial community, our electricity providers, Ameren and Shelby Electric. But everybody's got to be working together. And kind of the way I like to explain economic development is the Christian County Economic Development Corporation is like a really big boat, right? But we need people to row this really big boat. So we have all these people who have their own boats and they're rowing their own boats. And we just ask them from time to time, hey, set your boat aside and jump on our boat for a minute. And if we all row together in big times for things like generational projects or attracting new businesses, if we all work together in those times, that's what really helps our economy grow, in the county. And they go back to their boats and they run their businesses and run their cities and run the county. But from time to time, we've got to have everybody to come together. We've got to have everybody row in the same direction because we're competing. We're competing with other counties. We're competing with other states. And businesses, one of the things we know is when a new business is looking to locate somewhere, 85% of the time they want an existing building. So when someone, is thinking, hey, I want to expand my business or build my business and we want to have it in the Midwest and we want to be near St. Louis and Chicago and maybe Springfield or Decatur. But we need to know, where is there an existing facility? And we've got, we're just weeks away from, we've got another employer coming to town. And that was their, I asked him when he's bought this building and they're going to open up this new company, or not their new company, but the new operation for them. I said, what drew you to Taylorville? And he said, I needed a building and I needed to be operational today. And so it's our job to know where those buildings are. So when people reach out to us or where those lands are or where the opportunity, where all of those places are in the county, to have relationships with the business owners, the landowners, so that when we're working on the next generational project, that will take, many years, maybe over 10 years. But in the meantime, we're also working on smaller projects as well. But that's what we do at the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. We're a conduit for landowners, business owners, government leaders, business leaders. And we do just a lot of work behind the scenes so that we can get to that ribbon cutting ceremony that we then see on or hear on the radio and see in the media.
Those generational projects like the correctional center, we've seen it manifest to 330 employed people in town, like you said, buying goods and just being part of the community. And before we take our break, and we've learned the history, we've learned the timeline, now we're in 2024. The benefits of the CCEDC are very apparent, but what is the benefit and why do we still continue to do this?
Yeah. So, it pretty much breaks down to jobs and families. That's when you look at economic development, a family's got to have, a way to make a living. And we're, this is a great place to work. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise your family. But we have to continue to have jobs. And then we also need to attract new jobs. And when people are looking for a place to live, they, just like we're talking about the business after hours, and you and Linda were talking about, and some of the things going on in our park. Quality of life is important to a lot of people, not only for workers, but also for businesses, because they want to attract great employees, and they want to have a nice park for them to go to. They want to have nice events for them to go to. They want to have a nice parade. They want to have, nice schools. And so there's a lot of variables involved. And it's our job to make sure that we, keep moving forward on having great schools, having a great community, great employers, because that will bring great families to this county.
Absolutely. So many boxes to check there in terms of park and just quality of life. But I mean, they're all just so important, Matt. We got to take ourselves a quick break here, but much more to come from Matt Hart, the Executive Director of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. You've been listening to the WTIM Morning Show. We'll be right back.
Here's Cousin Bill from Illinois Paving.
Illinois Paving has great news for those of you who are considering getting a new driveway installed this year. Illinois Paving is now offering financing. Click on our website, ilepaving.com, and click on the link, Get Financing. Get pre-qualified. Many lenders compete for your business, and this is a soft credit check, so it won't affect your credit. Some people even get 0%, so now there's no excuse for your new driveway this summer. Log on today, ilepaving.com.
University of Illinois Extension is hosting the U of I Dudley Smith Field Day on Thursday, June 20th from 9:30 in the morning until 12:30 in the afternoon at the farm near Pana. This free program and lunch will feature speakers on stretching your hay budget, a water and nutrient management update, and cattle management. Listen as WTIM broadcasts live from the Dudley Smith Field Day near Pana on Thursday, June 20th from 9 till 10. Brought to you by University of Illinois Extension Office of Christian County in Taylorville, Legacy Grain Cooperative in Stonington, Blue Mound, Sharpsburg, and Moequa, and Shelby Electric Cooperative in Shelbyville.
Local. For 28 years, Just Beds has been your local mattress store for 28 years, featuring locally made Bemco mattresses like Arctic Breeze and Max Life. That's a lot of local helping local. And all this month at Just Beds, you'll save big on Bemco. Twin mattresses for $149, queen mattresses just $229. As always, free delivery, setup, and haul away locally. Thank you for supporting Just Beds for 28 years. Keep buying, local friends. See the Onyx Terminators at Just Beds on Montvale and Springfield.
Just Beds.
For more than a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. More than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. AM radio is also the backbone of the emergency alert system, which keeps us safe in dangerous times. It's reliable, free, and public safety depends on it. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
CNB Bank and Trust has been helping open doors for Central Illinois farmers since 1854. Find out why they're among Illinois' top ag lenders by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Bob Reddings of the Bob Reddings family of dealerships. See our huge inventory of about 2,000 vehicles by clicking on our ad at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back into WTIM, your information station, right in the midst of the WTIM Morning Show with Matt Hart, the Executive Director of the Economic Development Corporation here in Christian County. Thanks so much to our sponsors of the live stream, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. We got to dig down on some history there and where we are now with the CCEDC in 2024. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so we've got an announcement soon. We can't name the names yet, but we do have another a small manufacturer that's coming to town. And again, this is someone who is looking for an existing facility because they want to be operational very quickly. So hopefully, when I'm on with you next month, we can talk about that, or even sooner than that. But we expect that announcement to come in the next few weeks. So that's going to be great. That's going to be some not only jobs coming to Taylorville and Christian County, but also utilizing the facilities that we have here. We also, I think folks have seen now that Sloan Implement, and by the way, what a treasure we have in Sloan's. I mean, Sloan Implement is one of the largest John Deere dealers in the world.
Wow.
And their corporate headquarters is in Christian County in Assumption, Illinois. And they've got a facility that they've had for, I think, 30 years in Taylorville. They kind of outgrown. And so they're going to be building a new facility, 30,000 square foot facility in Edinburgh. So those 12,000 vehicles a day on Route 29, as they're coming into the county, later they're going to start seeing, this new massive 30,000 square foot facility going up for Sloan's. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. So we're very excited about that. Down in Pana, we've got B&R Marine is continuing to grow and expand and remodel. Down there, they're just doing some amazing things, down in Pana. Again, they're just down the street from Great Western, who just opened up had their grand opening for their facility. And then we're also going to start seeing around the Taylorville Square. Over $5 million is going to be invested, in the Taylorville Square. I mean, this is above and beyond our local businesses who are already, redoing buildings down there. Which, by the way, the Taylorville Square, if folks have not been to the Taylorville Square lately, you've got to go up there and just see the amazing things that have been going on. And there's a dozens and dozens of business owners down there who are buying buildings, rehabbing buildings, improving that look. We're going to improve the streets. We're going to improve the lighting. All of that's going to be happening in the next few months here. So a lot of exciting things going on in Taylorville and in Pana. And Assumption's got a new neighborhood that's going in, new subdivision. So a lot of exciting things going on all over the county.
Even if you haven't been to the square in the past 6 months, you might see something new out on that square. It feels like that. It's just been one thing after the other. Absolutely.
And of course, pardon the dust and the dumpsters, but the county courthouse is having a lot of remodeling done there as well. But that is, I mean, it's great to see all this remodeling, but don't forget, there are construction workers, there are electricians. We're putting a lot of people to work with these improvements that, again, helps our economy. And by the way, those people all buy lunch and they all buy dinner, and provides jobs. So yeah, I mean that alone, is it's economic development.
Yeah. The way all of these just can go hand in hand with the next thing. I love the way you describe that every time. And seeing the dumpsters out on the square actually kind of makes me smile, because I know something's going on. Some room is being renovated of some kind. And yeah, the way you laid it out right there, that those are local people in the trades that are getting their work done. And like you said, I mean, spending money out in the community and making a community that people are going to want to come join and visit. I mean, this is all the goal at the end of the day for the CCEDC.
Absolutely. We want to provide obviously jobs and economic development here, but we know that all economic development involves quality of living. People want to have a nice square to go to. People want to have a nice bike trail to go to, which, by the way, the bike trail, a little bit on hold, but we know this fall we're going to complete the bike trail out to the lake. So they're waiting on the bridge. The bridge has been ordered. The bridge, there's imagine that supply chain issues with the bridge, but the bridge is coming, so that we'll reconnect the bike trail so people can get from downtown Taylorville all the way out to the lake on that bike trail. But yeah, it's progress and just a lot of exciting things going on in Christian County right now.
Amazing. And that's not parts of a bridge that are on their way. That's the whole bridge.
The whole bridge.
That's on its way. So we've got to give it some time there. Matt, we're in our last minute here. Any final words for the listeners?
Yeah, just, we've got a lot of great things going on. If anybody has questions about, we talk about economic incentives, but again, remember, we've got the TIF districts throughout the county. We've got the enterprise zone throughout the county, which we've now revamped and gotten that through, all the levels of government. We've got business development districts in Taylorville and in Pana. If anyone wants to know about those economic incentives, call us. If you want to know about the industrial park on the north side of Taylorville, there on Route 29, give us a call. Our number is 217-565-2280. You can email us anytime at edcchristiancounty@gmail.com, or go on our website, www.christiancountyedc.com. We're here to serve the folks of Christian County.
Just perfect. Matt, thank you so much, as always, for coming in with us today.
My pleasure.
Matt Hart, Executive Director of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation, here on the WTIM Morning Show. Thanks so much to People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville for sponsoring the live stream. You've been listening to WTIM, your information station.
With SRN News, I'm Jeremy House in Washington.